like once you become a mom and dad, that's all that you are, because that's not all that you are, and you are a person and you do have individuality in who you are. We weren't put here to just be moms and dads.
Blessings on blessings, yeah. I can see the blessings coming our way, our way, our way.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Everything Mia Sims back again with another video. If you're this far into the video, you might as well already hit subscribe, join the goal, gang. We lit over here and that's on period, sis. If you ain't got no goals, set some, achieve some. The time is now. If you needed a message or a memo, it's me. Let's get it done. 2021, we're coming after everything that God has ordained for us. So start listening to God, y'all. Start moving like how y'all supposed to, and he'll move on your behalf. Because everybody don't listen all the time. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get into this beat though. So I'm probably gonna drop a video on this beat next week, y'all. I might drop 2 videos though. I might drop 2 videos. This isn't like my everyday makeup. This is like no makeup look. That's everyday makeup, you know, like if you want to chill, real neutral look, I'm gonna card that video above as well. But be on the lookout for the no makeup look and a real light foundation skin tint kind of thing going on, you know. For y'all people who don't like nothing that's too heavy, I'm coming for y'all too. Y'all already know what my channel is about. You know, we really, you know, we're chilling in the PJs, loungewear, whatever the case may be, because that's what my channel is about, y'all. Come beat face in PJs. Let's normalize that. Let's normalize moms looking good around the house. But you know, we still got on PJs, because I mean, we really got time for that. If I find a lounge set that looks like this, I'm going to link it to my Amazon shop below, and I'm also going to link the other 2 pajama sets that I have worn in my videos in my Amazon shop. So make sure y'all click that link and shop so we all can chill, drink wine, lounge together. Also, let's get into a little bit of an update before we get into this video. I know you guys have noticed. If you haven't noticed, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, I took out all of my piercings. I've had my nose ring and my bar since I was 17 years old, actually 16. But yeah, y'all, I feel like it's time for a change. I just turned 24. I don't know, out with the old, in with the new, so this is my new look. No more nose ring, no more bar, like all of that is gone. And I feel like I got that in a time where people didn't necessarily analyze your body and your anatomy to see what fits your body. So I have a really bad scar in my ear from my bar just because the angle that it was at was not beneficial for my body. So y'all, it just was time to let it go. It was time to let it go. We on to something new, and I feel like I look a lot younger without all of the piercings in my face anyways, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the first point: how to survive life with a newborn. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and how I navigated during those times. So when I had my first son, I was 17 years old. I got pregnant with him when I was 17. I had him when I was 17. And I felt like that was a very murky time in my life. I really didn't know anything about raising a child. That's number one. I mean, who really does at 17 years old? Number 2, I felt like people around me play a lot into how I felt about myself and how I felt about my parenting. I feel like, you know, of course, like in our generation, our parents and our village tried the best to help us to raise our children, yet they also don't understand that in the style that they talk to us means everything at that point. It could make or break how you feel about yourself, and a lot of times they don't understand. It comes off very reprimanding than uplifting, and I feel like that's a lot of times what we need in those times, and especially having a newborn. Also, don't mind me guys if I'm looking down because I have my notes on my phone. So just because having a baby at 17, I really felt like I didn't have anything necessarily going, or like I didn't know who I was. To be honest, I didn't know who I was before I even had Caden. So having Caden made me use him as a crutch. I built my identity in raising Caden. If he wasn't around, I really didn't know what to do. I had really bad separation anxiety, and I feel like a lot of times as parents, mom and dads, that's what we tend to do. We tend to put our identity in raising our children, and we forget about ourselves and who we are. And this is what this channel is about, and this is why I'm building this channel, because we need to let go of that stigma. We need to let go of the, you know, like once you become a mom and dad, that's all that you are, because that's not all that you are, and you are a person and you do have individuality in who you are. We weren't put here to just be moms and dads. That's not what our life is about, and that's not who we are as people. And you need to get back to remembering who you you were before you had children, and practice. Like, even if you don't feel like the person that you were before you had kids, practice until you feel the way that you used to feel. So after touching that subject, I'm going to go into like why I even decided to create this series. And based off of what I explained to you about my story, I decided to create this series just because, like I said, I feel like a lot of times as parents, we put our identity in raising our children, and we need to break that stigma. I feel a lot of times Black parents say, you know, well, now you're a mom, well, now you're a dad. And it's just like, that's not exactly who you are. That's not your identity. That's not all that you were put here to do. This series, like I said, isn't just for moms. It's for dads as well. Because a lot of times parents aren't just mothers. And that's what we need to let go of. Parents aren't just mothers. Parents are dads as well. So if you're a mom, if you're a dad, this is for you. You need to realize who you are and take your individuality out of your children. Put raising children to the side. Not saying to neglect your children at all. That's not what I'm saying. But think of yourself more than just a mom. Think of yourself more than just a dad, because those things aren't the only things that define you. Yes, you are a mother. Maybe, you know, like you have a business, you're a business owner. Like, think about all of those things outside of parenting. So a lot of times when raising newborns, you forget how to feel like yourself. So you need to remember to do things that make you feel like yourself. Maybe even if it's paying for a babysitter. And I know, you know, during the pandemic and things like that, things are a little bit harder. But maybe if you find somebody that you trust that has been around you, or you can ask people for the information, their testing information, whatever the case may be. And even if you do have to save and put money aside, do try to do things that make you feel like yourself. Whether it's get your nails done, whether, you know, fathers is getting a haircut, buying a new pair of shoes, going out on a date as a family, like doing something that makes you remember you are an individual and your individuality isn't defined in raising children or being at home all the time. So just remember to do things that make you feel like yourself, even if it's taking time to just let your hair down, take a shower, wind down, relax, do something that makes you feel like yourself. That is very beneficial in raising a newborn, because how can you pour from an empty cup, realistically? A lot of times we don't have a cup at all, to be honest. And speaking from experience, I feel like we put our identity in raising children, but we immerse ourselves in raising our children to avoid dealing with issues. And I can speak from this, you know, from this place in experience. My husband and I, you know, our first 3 children, we immersed ourselves in raising our children, and we were in our early 20s. But doing that and doing so, we never addressed real issues in our marriage. And this year we're like, no, like, we're not just parents. That's not all that we are. Like, we want to turn up, we want to twerk, we want to go on vacation, you know, do the things that 24 and 28-year-olds do. Like, we're still Mia and Josh outside of mom and dad, but in doing so, we've exposed a lot of issues in our relationship. And it wasn't like, you know, really bad issues or anything like that, but just communication issues and communication errors. And if we would have never put raising children to the side and thinking about ourselves as well, we would have never realized that, hey, like, we really don't communicate the best. So let's focus on that, as well as being parents. A lot of times in our community, we this is what happens. People have children early, you know, they raise their children for 18 years or whatever the case may be, and then by the time, you know, the kids are out of the household, maybe 20 years have gone by and it's just them, and they realize, I really don't even know you and I don't know how to communicate with you. And that's a lot of times why in our community people split. And that's just my personal opinion, I feel like. And being in the same scenario where we did immerse ourselves in raising our children, but putting that to the side and realizing that we still are Mia and Josh, and coming to terms with a lot of things that we had to fix and repair. People really do immerse themselves in that and don't deal with the issues that they need to deal with. We were like, we personally don't want to be that couple that's been together for 20 years and now the kids are out of the house and we don't even know why we've been together that long. We have nothing to bond over outside of children. So think about that and put that into perspective for you guys, and don't immerse yourself in or making your children your identity, because in 20 years, who are you going to be when they leave? Think about that. That's something to think about. And God didn't create you just to raise your children. He created you with purpose. And you have a purpose being here and just being like, oh, well, you know, my kids need this and my kids need that, and putting everything in your kids, you're not living out your purpose and the individuality that he created in you. That ties into my next point, why it's important to remember who you are, because if you forget who you are in the first place, you forget why it is that you're supposed to be here. And sometimes you never really know who you are in the first place, and that's why you put your identity in raising children, and it's so easy to get trapped up in the cycle of just, you know, moving through the motions when you have kids. Like, you know, once you get past the newborn stage and you get in a routine, you just kind of get set in your ways. And like I said, it's really easy to forget and go through the motions. But remain yourself. Please remain yourself, guys. Like, I've been raising kids since 17, and it took me until I was 24 to realize that maybe I don't know who I am. Like, what is it that I like to do? I don't even know. Like, but now I feel like that's my ministry, and it is for me to minister to people, because I've been in all positions, y'all, all positions. Like, hide my identity in my kids because I don't know who I am. Hide my identity in my children because I don't want to face issues in myself or issues in my relationship. Hide my identity in my kids just because I feel like my community and my family put so much pressure on me to be a parent. Like, and that's all that there is to life once you have kids, is being a parent. But it's not. So you have to remain yourself, because you are put on this earth with purpose, and if you aren't living out your full purpose, then you aren't fulfilling what it is that God put you here to do. So please remember to remain yourself. Also, you need to remain yourself because it's better for your kids. Like I said, you can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't put your identity in your children, because you're supposed to be teaching them how to have an identity. You may be like, Mia, what do you mean? Your kids learn from you, and you're teaching them, you're supposed to teach them to be comfortable in who they are and in their identity. But if you're putting your identity into things and they grow up seeing you putting your identity into them, they're going to do nothing but repeat the same cycle and put their identity into things, and not actually sit down and be like, who am I and what is it that I like to do, and being comfortable with that and not being judged, if that makes sense. Like, we're teaching them how to be as an adult. And if we don't address these issues head on as adults, they will face the same issues that we face. My third point is, you are here and you have a plan on earth from God. So don't forget who you are, because if you forget who you are, how can you fulfill his purpose? And that's what we're here to do. We're not here to just raise children or be homemakers or whatever the case may be. We're overall here to complete the purpose that he put us on this earth to complete. Like, I know in what I'm doing right now, I feel like this is my purpose. This is my ministry, to minister to people who've been through what I've, or who are going through what I've already been through, and what I've self-analyzed from and grown from, and gotten advice from God from. So if you are putting your identity in your children and in things, you will not be able to fulfill the purpose that he put you on earth to fulfill. So yeah, y'all, that's all I have for this week. We will be dropping 2 videos next week: how to survive life with a newborn part 2, and my no makeup look, which is what I got on now, y'all. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join the goal. Gang, gang, gang. We live over here, and that's so period. If you ain't got no goals, set some, achieve some. The time is now. If you needed a message or a memo, it's me. 2021, we're coming after everything that God has ordained for us. And even in 2022, this is a motto. This is every day. This is how we live. But yeah, I'll see y'all next week.
Blessings on blessings, yeah. I can see the blessings coming our way.